there's usually, what's this? A really nice sweet potato underneath. Let's see if we can get this out of here.
There's more.
There's more? All right. Guten gardening, everybody. Well, right now I'm in our front yard right by our driveway because we've got some tomatoes and some sweet potatoes to harvest out of this area. Now, it may not be as evident as it was maybe 2 weeks ago because the temperatures are falling and some of these sweet potatoes are starting to die back a little bit, but this area here to the right of our driveway has been providing us with some awesome curb appeal all summer long. And last summer when we planted in these same hay bales, it was the first year with them, and so we didn't get a ton of production, but we think hopefully there should be a little bit more production with these sweet potatoes this year. Although you can see something came in here and bit this one right up, ate it down a little bit. So we'll see. I don't really know what to expect in these hay bales, but I want to get anything that might be growing in here, any sweet potatoes harvested. You ever get excited about something that you're pretty sure a lot of other people aren't all that excited about? Well, for me, I just looked at the weather forecast and we were supposed to get down to about 30 degrees tonight, and it's been updated to 34 degrees Fahrenheit. May not be a lot for some people, but for me, that's buying me some extra time to get some of this stuff harvested. But I definitely don't want to wait anymore because these critters are going to come in here and eat whatever we have. They just tunnel. I'm sure it's voles. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But I'm going to get in here and see if anything grew underneath. But before I do that, I also have a bunch of these tomatoes to come in here. You can see the plants themselves are pretty much done for now, but I have a whole bunch of these tomatoes to come in and harvest. These are our Praxis cherry tomatoes, and this plant that's almost fallen over, these are our geranium kiss tomatoes. You see that little tip there at the bottom? Really cool looking tomato. Now, I actually already did a video on all these varieties of tomatoes, and I'll put a link to that in the description, but the tomatoes out here are ones that were given to us. The seeds were given to us by some of our community members, and I really want to make sure we keep those seeds separate so we know which ones are which with all these really cool varieties. For example, these Berries Crazy tomatoes, I want to be able to save some of the seeds for these so that we can give some of them out in our seed share this year. Such a cool tomato. So what I'm going to do is, unlike what I would normally do with the tomatoes, just putting them all together, I'm going to do some initial storing just in these little quart-sized bags, and I'm going to label these so I know which ones are which. Now, the Berries Crazy tomato, that's not exactly hard to determine which one's which, but I want to keep them separate, and I'm not going to store them in here long term, but I want to make sure I know which seeds are which. So this is just going to be an easy way for me to get started. Now, even though the temperatures aren't going to fall as low as I thought, and I looked at the 10-day forecast, and we might be good to go for another week or so, I still want to get these in. And you can see, that discoloration, some of that darker discoloration. I'm guessing that that's actually part of the problem coming from the cold weather we've been having. And tomatoes are going to stop ripening up once the temperatures get this low on a consistent basis. So the rest of these, the ones that aren't ripe, I'm going to bring in as well, just like I did with our larger varieties, just to ripen up indoors. I'm actually going to keep these, the green ones, separate from the ones that are already ripe. While I'm harvesting this purple bumblebee tomato, I'm curious what kinds of seeds, oh, that one's split. That's all right. The seeds are still going to be fine inside. What kind of seeds would you like to get in our upcoming seed share? What would you like us to include this season in that share? Let us know in the comments and we'll see what we can do. You know, I just remembered something. When I did the video where I talked about the different varieties, this geranium kiss tomato was not ripe enough yet for me to give a taste test to. So, oh, that's really good. It's got a nice tang to it. It's not overpowering. It's not as sweet as, say, some of our regular cherry tomatoes, but it's got a really nice flavor, a little bit meatier even. We're gonna save some of those seeds. I really love how packed the tomatoes are on this variety. They are loaded down here toward the base. Look at those. Really nice looking tomato. And even though we now have some pretty limited experience with this Praxis cherry tomato, the size of these cherry tomatoes, look at this. And that really doesn't even look like a cherry tomato, but these are so tasty. Just gonna get the rest of these in. That's a really nice fall tomato. Have I mentioned how much I appreciate our community? None of this would be possible without you. We wouldn't have grown any of these varieties And now we're gonna have the opportunity to share some of them back with our community. All right, let's go ahead and get to our hay bale sweet potatoes and see if the voles left any behind for us, see how well they developed. I mean, it looks to me like the stems on here are in pretty good shape, but again, we don't know what the size is. The hay itself is definitely looser. You can see that looseness in here compared to what it was last year. But let's see if anything really developed. Oh, there we go. Hey, that's a nice little sweet potato. Don't know what to expect here in terms of the amount overall, but we'll start with that little ball. I'm not actually 100% sure. I think this might be a centennial sweet potato. We'll see what else we've got here. You know, one of the cool things about this is we're getting the benefit of that beauty while also potentially growing some more of our sweet potatoes, which is something that we really want to do. Oh, I just pulled up one of our marigolds. Well, you know what? These marigolds are super useful in terms of fighting against some of the little pests that like to get in. So we'll take these. You see the dead ones here? These contain a whole bunch of seeds. I'm actually not going to throw this away at all. I'm going to keep this and we'll collect the seeds from this to plant again next season. Just spread it across the surface like we did this year. All right, let's get right down in here and see. Oh, see right there where they came in and ate. That's the thing when we're growing in an area that's kind of exposed. We don't have as much protection like we have in other parts of our garden against the voles and other critters, and so that right there is the result. Looks like there would have been a pretty nice sweet potato attached here, but no matter what they've left for us here, it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be an additional harvest beyond what we've planted in most of our other beds. That is such a thick stem on here. Our experience has been that when there's a thick stem, there's usually, what's this? A really nice sweet potato underneath. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Oh my. I am 100% confident that is by far the biggest hay bale sweet potato, and you can see what I'm talking about. I said when there is a big stem, there's usually a big sweet potato underneath, and you can see where they ate here and they ate into this one, but we've still got, and this is hefty too. That was just grown in this little hay bale here. Now, of course, I want to get more sweet potatoes out of here, but that one alone should impress upon you that you can definitely get some decent sweet potatoes just growing in hay bales. Now, hay bales are a type of garden that are really, really simple to grow in, can take up, minimal space. Just grab a couple of these organic hay bales and get started. Doesn't look like this one performed as well. So you can see we got a couple little ones on there, a couple fries on this one. Let's check next door. There's another slip right here. So it looks like we got about 4 slips in each one. Oh, yes, sir. I mean, 4 slips in each one. This looks like frog legs. You see that? You see the frog legs right there? Oh, and it's not done. There's another one right down in there. Wow. I wonder what this white stuff was on the bottom. I don't know. It wiped right off. Might be some of our bone meal or something. Oh, all the way down in there. Look at that. There's another one. This is like, I'm digging right down into here, all the way in. A little piece of another one there. Hey, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. I got that strong marigold smell in here right now from where I've disturbed the marigolds. I love that smell so much. Okay, here we are to our next variety. I'm not actually sure what this variety is. We had some leftover slips as well, that when a couple of these died after I planted them, I came back in and put them in here. Now, those first sweet potatoes definitely grew out and expanded more than any of the other ones in any of the other hay bales, but I don't know what that's gonna mean necessarily for our harvest or our yield here. It doesn't look like there's been as much disturbance from our voles. Maybe they didn't think they had much in here to disturb. Let's see. Hey, that's nice. That's okay. All right. Hey, harvesting from hay bales, not all that difficult to do once you get past that top layer. Now, I'm going to go back to the fact that we were getting 2 purposes out of these sweet potatoes. We didn't plant just ornamental sweet potatoes, even though those are absolutely beautiful. We planted sweet potatoes that when they grew, if they grew, would provide us with some good food, but also during this time they have those beautiful leaves as well. Now, I'll say this bed This bale seems to be tighter than our first bale, but hey, look at this. Look at what this slip just produced here. Hey, even though these aren't the biggest, every single one of these is going to go toward our goal of being self-sufficient. And again, they're proof of what you can do in hay. And you see these little pieces of metal here. Our attempt with these was to try to discourage some of the bigger critters like the rabbits, etc., from climbing up over here. Of course, they also have access points on the side when they're voles, so it kept the rabbits out, that's for sure. And really, we didn't start noticing damage in here until just a short time ago. Every little bit of production counts. Every single amount will help feed our family. I think if this bale was another year older, you see what's on this slip? Look at all these. I think if this bale was another year older, had decomposed a little bit more, I think we probably would have gotten even more production. As is, the roots are kind of toward the top. They haven't really sunk down, they haven't really dug down in like we'd expect. 2 bales remain. This one seems to be undisturbed as well. See if I can pull this out without disrupting all these marigolds. Look at how many marigolds we have in here. Isn't that just beautiful? Tell me what you think of when you think of the smell of these marigolds. For me, it actually takes me back to when I was very young. The school I used to attend, for some reason I associate seeing these with that school. And just, I think they had some of those plants maybe in the music room at that school. I know they had geraniums in that school as well, but I just think of these marigolds for some reason. All right, there we go. A few more of the smaller ones. Yeah, these hay bales are tighter. These are not as old as that first bale. And we're seeing some of the results here, just a little bit smaller, but still. Oh, let's get right down in there. I love that. I love this shape. Love this shape of sweet potato. I talked about my favorite sweet potato shape in one of our recent harvests as well. You can go check out some of our other harvest videos, sweet potato harvest videos that we've done just recently. We've got a big sweet potato harvest video coming up. In our biggest bed, it's a 32-foot long bed filled with 4 different varieties of sweet potatoes. So we're gonna see how well they performed. I mean, that's a little bit different than trying to grow in hay, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, there's just such a massive difference between this bale and the amount of breaking down it's done and our first bale up there. That's a difference maker for sure in terms of how well and how easily these are growing in here. There we go. A little bit longer. Try not to break the bottom of that. There we go. There's a couple. But I think when this is left out over the winter, it's going to break down even more. We'll get our rains coming in the spring, and then I think we're really going to see even better production out of these bales. Again, there's absolutely no reason for us not to throw a couple of slips in here because, I mean, we can start our own slips, we can grow our own slips, but on top of that, we absolutely love that curb appeal. I talk about that a lot, but I mean, it's a difference maker. We really want these sweet potatoes to dig down into the bale. They shouldn't be right up here at the surface and then spreading along this way, but that was probably where a lot of the nutrients were in these newer bales compared to that first one, which again, was an older bale, one that had more time to prepare for what we were doing. Okay, this one feels a little bit nicer. Let's see if we can get in here. Oh, look at that. It's all bunched up, all bundled up. That might be the tightest bundle of sweet potatoes I've ever seen. You see how it's all twisted up, twisted around here? Again, we need looser material for this to spread. There's a whole bunch of these that have a lot of potential in the upcoming seasons. Look at that. It's a pretty nice size one right there. All right, we're down to our last couple to harvest here. Actually, this one feels pretty nice too. Right here at the edge. Let's see if I can get this gently pulled out. Oh, yes. Okay. That's more like it. So even the ones that aren't fully broken down, we're still getting some nice size. Actually, I think this one broke off. That means there's more to this down below. Oh, okay. There is one. There is... Oh, that's nice. Look at this. Look what's coming out of here. Oh, there's more down in here. It feels like, what is this? Hey, that was a nice slip. Oh, there's another one. Just digging down in here. Look at that. Okay, oh, is there... Okay, that's the base of another one there.
Wow. Very, very, very pretty.
Well, even our younger Yardner in training agrees that is a really pretty nice group of sweet potatoes. All right, last but not least, the last slip. Oh, this one actually feels pretty good in here too. Let's see what we've got attached. Hey, we'll take it. You know, I honestly did not know what kind of weight to expect out of here, what kind of harvest. The size of these are pretty good. Pretty good shape, don't you think? I'm gonna let my daughter do this as well. Go ahead.
See.
You feel anything down there?
Oh, I found.
You found it? That's not bad. What do you think?
Good angling. Try reaching for another.
You gonna try reaching for another? All right, let me help you hold it back here. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
You feel it? It's all the way down in there.
Wait, there's...
Careful, don't pop it.
You popped.
You popped something. Well, there you go. What was it right here? This is the one?
There's more.
There's more? All right. Hey,
Let's see, I think...
that's pretty productive right down in there. Pretty productive. Is there anything else in there? Those bigger ones grew toward the edge of this bale, and it's actually really nice and loose over at the edge here compared to even farther up.
I think
nice.
I popped it. I popped it.
Whoa. Man, if we had missed that, that'd be terrible. That is beautiful. Did you pop it again? Is there another piece to it? No, I think you got it. Oh. No, there is another piece. When you think you're done a harvest, but then there's more. I'm gonna assemble this one. Well, here's what it would have looked like if it was all together. Well, that is a big sweet potato. Well, you can't go wrong with a nice little sweet potato harvest. It's always great to get some help from your younger Yardner in training. And hey, I'll take a sweet potato this size any day of the week. And actually, we ended up with some pretty nice sweet potatoes in here growing in these hay bales. Well, stay tuned for a whole bunch more potato and sweet potato content coming up in the next couple of weeks. I've got a whole bunch more to harvest in here, and we're really hoping for some good returns. And thank you so much once again for being a part of our community, for liking this video, for watching it the whole way through. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.